now McLaren, the team that has even less regard for its fans' mental health than even Ferrari after pulling out the MCL60 in Bahrain. That car was a disaster and everyone could see it. Both cars eliminated in Q1, it not even being a regular point scoring contender, being down in the doldrums of the bottom of the grid behind even Haas. That's right, McLaren were behind Haas in the constructor standings after 3 rounds. Yet, at the time of recording, they are currently fighting Aston Martin for P4 in the constructors. 2024, is it McLaren's year? What a year it has been for the McLaren Formula 1 team. I think that statement would have been quite incomprehensible at the start of the year, considering both cars were eliminated in Q1 in Bahrain, and even up until the Austrian Grand Prix, the car was not a regular point scorer. But the MCL60 has experienced a turnaround unlike anything we have seen in recent Formula 1 memory. The car has gone from a regular Q1 eliminator to a regular podium sitter, and a bad race for the team is now considered neither car in the top 5, when at the start of the year, a good race for the team was them getting into the top 10. McLaren have shown that in-season development can be incredibly powerful, and that even if a car is bad at the start of the year, it does not mean it will be bad at the end of the year. If Aston Martin were to win an award for their off-season development between 2022 and 2023, then surely McLaren would win the award for the best in-season development of the 2023 season. But is this trajectory enough to be killing the Red Bull domination that we've experienced this year and will probably experience next year? And as you may be able to tell, the answer is probably going to be no. So if you're here for me to be going on about how amazing it's going to be for McLaren in 2024, how Lando Norris is going to be world champion, then I am sorry. This will not be the video for you. But the 2024 dream of a driver's title or constructor's title, whilst it may be out of the realms of possibility, 2024 is not going to be a year for McLaren to sit back on their laurels, go, oh well, Red Bull are quicker, and leave it at that. McLaren need to do something that they've been trying to do for the last 6 years since the disastrous McLaren-Honda partnership ended, and that is to re-establish themselves at the front of the field, consistently. 2020 and 2021 were good years for McLaren. They were relatively close to the front at some races, but it was not consistent. That consistency is their biggest Achilles heel right now. But to do that, they need to improve their car and actually have a good car from the start of the year. The main issue with the current McLaren is its mechanical platform. I'm talking suspension, I'm talking chassis, and I'm talking brakes. In terms of the suspension, this has been a known issue for a while, and it's been an issue for most teams. It would not surprise me if next year's McLaren comes out with a rear suspension that looks very similar to this year's Red Bull. We know that the rear suspension of the Red Bull is incredibly powerful and is a big factor in its ability to be so good during the race. So if McLaren can do something very similar next year, then it will certainly improve their mechanical platform. We also know that brakes are generally quite an issue for the team. Lando Norris has been very public in his criticism about the handling of the car in braking zones, as has Oscar Piastri. This is generally because of the car's original designer, James Key. James Key is gone, and in his place is Rob Marshall. Rob Marshall is was a very high-ranking technical officer within the Red Bull team. So high-ranking, in fact, that when he was announced to be joining McLaren, Red Bull really kicked up a fuss, trying to push back his start date from 2024 to 2025. And whilst they were not successful in doing so, they were able to put him on garden leave fairly quickly. However, this does not mean that Rob Marshall is useless. He's worked with Adrian Newey for years and has insight into how the RB18 and the early onset RB19 worked, and will surely come to McLaren with some excellent ideas going forward. The main issue for the team will once again be off-season development. They have not had a technical director since James Key left the team in March of this year, and Marshall won't be starting his post until the 1st of January 2024, meaning that for the 8 months they have been missing out on a key technical leader. And whilst the technical team has done an excellent job turning the car around in the season they've had, this was always going to be the plan. They knew from the offset that the 2023 car was going to start poorly and then push forward. So, what can McLaren do to keep momentum up? Obviously, having a good off-season is a good start. That's crucible for any team, and I'm sure Mercedes, Aston Martin and Ferrari will all be trying to do the same in order to catch up to their rivals. They need to make sure that the platform they come out with next year is better in terms of the mechanical grip of the car, but most importantly, I believe, is the ability to fix the issues that the car's handling and braking have. Norris has said he has not been able to perform at 100% because of the way the car handles. He's had to adapt his driving ability, and he is not yet comfortable, which I think is very impressive considering that he's been in the sport for 5 years. If he can achieve the level of achievements he's got driving a car he's not quite comfortable with due to the handling of it, I dread to think what he will be like in a car that actually suits his handling. If he's able to take the most out of the car, and he isn't doing that right now, and it is yet achieving high results, I can see 2024 being an excellent year for the young British driver. His first win may have been waiting, and he's been waiting a long time and will have to wait a little longer, I am afraid. But if McLaren can get on top of their issues, and they do now have the facilities to do so in terms of a new wind tunnel, a new technical officer, and a lot of positive momentum going forward, then I cannot see 2024 being a bad year for the team. They may start off slightly slower, and I can see them slipping down maybe behind Mercedes, Ferrari and Aston Martin. But as long as they do not start the year struggling to get out of Q1, then 2024 should be an excellent year for the team. Will they beat Red Bull? Most likely not, and that will probably be the case for 2025. But for McLaren, that probably isn't their aim right now. Their aim is to be back at the front, and that is to be at the front at every race, every year, and without any blips. If they can achieve this, and they can spend the next couple of years sitting second or third in the constructors, building up their prize money, building up their returns, building up the momentum, then when the new regulations of 2026 come in, with a wind tunnel that is effectively latest generation, with a technical officer and a technical structure that is second to none, then surely McLaren will be on top of the world. The drivers are quick. Oscar Piastri has gone from strength to strength, and it is only his rookie year, which is very difficult to believe considering how strong he's been. Lando Norris is a superstar and is surely destined for World Championship glory at some point. The 2024 McLaren will not be a championship winning car, but it doesn't have to be for McLaren to be doing well. As long as that car can get them back to the front consistently, then McLaren have a very, very bright future ahead of them going into the 2026 regulations.